Hey guys, so let's talk about the top 4 weed killers that you can use on centipede lawn, okay? So this is just my opinion out of the herbicides that I've used in my lawn. I've seen really good results with a lot of these, so I thought I'd just do like a little top 4 list and let you know what I think is the best for the centipede grass. So number 1 I'd say would be Celsius. It is kind of a top of the line product, more of a professional product that you might not find, in just your average store. You will see it in kind of a Site 1 landscape supply stores like that, but luckily it is on Amazon. Now it will hit you up front with a cost of about $140 or $150, but it is going to last you a while. And the great thing about this on a centipede lawn is the amount of weeds this thing is labeled for. So a lot of these products will only kill like broadleaf weeds or grassy weeds. You don't get the full spectrum. This thing is labeled for all kinds of broadleaf weeds and also crabgrass and very difficult grassy weeds. So you get kind of an all-in-one control with this product, and it does last a very long time. So keep that in mind. You may have a little hit up front financially, but it is going to last on the shelf a few years. And you can use this on just about any weed centipede has to throw at you. And one of the most common nuisance weeds in centipede is chamber bitter. So it's going to be tough to find a product labeled for chamber bitter that is safe on centipede, and this is it. This is it. So keep that in mind, and I'd say this is number 1. Although the only con I would say about Celsius is it is a little bit slow acting, in my opinion. I usually only see results about 10 or 14 days after I spray. So you'll be waiting there like a week being like, what's going on here? Is anything happening? And then all of a sudden, you'll start seeing results and it'll knock it out. But it is a little slower acting than a couple of these other herbicides that I'll mention. Number 2 is ChangeUp. I recently tried this and was very impressed with both the effectiveness of it and the speed in which it killed the weeds. So I had a couple of patches of Lespedeza, which is a very kind of annoying weed in centipede, very common weed in centipede. And a lot of the products you're going to see are labeled for Lespedeza, but this knocked it out very quickly. And so I've been wanting to get this for a while and try it, and I was very impressed. Luckily, Amazon has it now. This is a quart size, so you don't have to buy like a giant gallon and just let it sit on your shelf forever. This quart size is very convenient, and it will last you a while because you only need a little bit per application, especially if you're spot spraying. So ChangeUp is great, and it's a professional style product. I think it's about 50 or 60 bucks. May seem a little steep, but if you want really good, quick results on a lot of broadleaf weeds, it's labeled for all kinds of weeds. So give this a try if you haven't. I think you'll be impressed. Number 3, I'd say, would be Fertilome Weed Free Zone. I did a couple of videos on that a while back, but if you haven't seen those, I was really impressed with just how fast that stuff works. It's also known as Speed Zone Southern. It's the same formulation, it's just different companies, different marketing. But it has a 2,4-D ester in it that I believe is great for like cooler weather. So if you want to kill weeds in both the summertime or in cooler mornings or evenings, this stuff is great and very effective. I haven't ever had any damage to my centipede lawn with it. I was a little hesitant to use it at first because it is a 2,4-D ester, and 2,4-D is something you kind of want to stay away from with centipede. But I think the fact that it's an ester base, but it is labeled for centipede, and it is incredible results. I mean, if you want like almost overnight results, that stuff is definitely incredible. So I'd say that's number 3. Number 4, I'd say, would be Atrazine. So this is a hose-in spray bottle that Spectracide makes that I actually didn't find at my local Walmart this year. I don't know why they stopped carrying it, but they did. But this is actually great for, it's got a pre and post-emergent properties in it. So pre-emergent meaning it'll create a barrier on the soil line that kills the weeds before they appear in your lawn. The weed actually germinates, but it creates that barrier and kills the weed. It's not going to stop every weed in your lawn though, but It is pretty effective. It's not like mind-blowing or anything, but it is safe on Centipede and St. Augustine. And it's a good thing to apply like before green up in the spring, like a couple of weeks before your lawn starts greening up. You don't want to apply it during the green transition phase, but I'd say before green up or just after your lawn fully greens up is a good time to do a blanket application if you want to. And that will, you know, it is taken up through the roots. The weeds are killed through the roots, so it does take a little bit longer than some of these other products that I've mentioned. But it is great as far as if you have a chamber bitter issue. You know, I've done this in the past where I've applied this in May after green up and then one more time in June. And that provided a really good barrier for the chamber bitter. It didn't prevent all of them from appearing, but it did a good job. And, you know, one thing I love about Atrazine is that it's labeled for Poa annua. So Poa annua is a weed that comes out like every May where I am. It just scorches Poa annua. So that's a great thing to know and use going forward if you need to. So an honorable mention I tried this year because one thing I thought was cool about this weed out is, by the way, it's a Triac herbicide. So you may see it on a counter somewhere as Triac. So it's the same formulation as Fertilome just calls it weed out. But on the label, and this is a lot cheaper than Fertilome Weed Free Zone, but on the label they actually have a way that you can apply this as a blanket application in a hose-in spray bottle. So not every herbicide has that. You know, you usually have to apply them in a hand can, you know, which is kind of annoying. But this has actual instructions of how you want to do it as a blanket application if you have a hose-in sprayer. So I thought that was cool. I gave it a shot. I wasn't wowed by the results by any means, but you know, it did a pretty good job. I mean, it's cool that you can apply it blanket style like that with a hose in, and they give the proper rates to use. So if you want to go kind of the cheap route and just see what kind of results you get with this is an honorable mention. I don't think it's one of the top tier herbicides to use on Centipede, but it is an option for you. So that's my top 4 herbicides, weed killers to use on Centipede. That'll be safe on your Centipede. You'll get great results. Most of the time, I'm not gonna say it's gonna, you know, solve all your problems or anything like that, but those are the top 4 that I've used on my lawn. So I hope this is helpful for you. If you like this content, give this video a like. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. I appreciate you watching. I do Centipede lawn care tips, product reviews, things like that. So leave me a comment, subscribe. Talk to you next time. Have a good one.